Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Reconnect Podcast TV Show. Today we have the distinguished guest, Boipuso Adontsi. Greetings and welcome to the podcast.
Thapelo J, greetings to your audience.
Re kopa o re jwetse hore na ntate Boipuso na ke mang, o tswa kae, ola kena sekolo kae, jwalo.
Okay. Ntate ke a leboha. Boipuso Adontsi ke mohlankana wa mokgotlo. Ke holetse moo nehle ke heso. Ke holetse teng la ya ba che ke la ka hlaela masego mona hobane mme wa ka kana ko ena ntsa le ka NTTC. Empa ho hola ha ka hona ho mokgotlo. Ho ile wa etsa la gore ke la ka kena dikonyana masego mona. Hobane kana go ngwa hana ntsa atla a ithuta ne expanda na go ngata ho le ke le masego mona ka kena sekolo meja metalana nesa ka tsiuka ma fela yale ke tswile ke sa graduate hobane ilare na kwa sa bona gore bophelo bo motusitse masego ba ga mantsa tsa sekolo a ba ya le nna ke fitla ke kena sekolo mo thweng ke mo Phalali primary school mo Phalali ke pele o fitla maphalane mo gotlo ya ba ka 1990 mo ne ke etsa standard 1 fela go tshwana la ha ke sa sitsa hobane ke ne ke kena sekolo mo mme ya kana ruta teng so ke bona ka re o nantsa a ka ba le ngwana jwale a ska ba le ntweng ya go ba strict haholo mme o ela ga ha lokela gore a mpasise gore ke ye standard 2 ka nne tola bona ka re o tla ba ntse phoso e golo bane ene ga ha ntsa ruta mane e be nna ke batla go ya ho yena ba le primary ke kena go no le tloa ka standard 1 ya standard 6 jwale ina kena la ka holong ka ofela ne re dula ka mono ka ofela na standard 1 mane thomane inwa room o busitsa ke matishera ile ama mabedi ka paisang borago jwale ga ntse ke bona mme wa ka mane ile ke phama mane class 1 tse ke ya go yena o re ke atla bona ga motho na ha so hole ya ba heche o etsa qeto le monna molore ka 1991 ba nkise mogotlo primary school le montate wa kana butateng kana kwe ile principal ya ba ke amo ena ha ka nnesa ka nnete ke la ka kena primary eno ya ka o tloa 1991 go ya 1997 so ka morago ke kate primary ya ka 1997 ke le ka ya sekolong se bitswang St James High School hona mogotlo ya ba ke etsa form 1 to form 5 le matselo tse hlano so ka 2002 ene le ha ke qeta CSC kana go ile form 5 ya kana go e ba ka 2003 ke fetela sekolong se seholo sa setšhaba mo ke la ka fila ke etsa become accounting le motseno tse nne ke graduate ka 2007 ene la ke fumana degree jwale ho tloa mo no se le taba go fela ka ngone mo le mongwe wa Mosotho ke la be sentse ke tla masego mona ke cut off ma le results go ke batla mosebetsi o no go tla ke bua ka go fela ke go until
Ciao, ka tsala pele.
Okay. Ke tla masego hang a ke cut off ma le results ne o no sokoleya ne ke batla mosebetsi ke siile mogotlong kwana ke gola go fa background fela hore mogotlong ha ke sia yone ke sia winter class ya ka obane nna ke motho a glo fa background e ngata gona ke qadile ka utlwa ke le primary sa le motho a ntsa rata ntho tsa dikgwebo haholo hobane ha ke le primary ke pa ke bua ka career ke boela morao gore na janjalo ya career na e tsamaile jwang go tloa primary go fitlela ke fitla Roma
ne ke tlo tsela ne o khithile becoming
ke tlo le za taba eno so ntene ile etsala ke a hore ha ke le primary ke na le motswalle wa ka na bitswa ke re molapo ne ga le ntluletsane mono ka ofela ga ba la class le mo ntse ga mo gotlong primary school ile na motho ne ba pala dikgomo tsa letsopa le yena ga gana koloi tsa diterata mmo o busitsa ke pele neng hantse ke utlana le mogotsi eno ka se ra hlogo mela hore a tseba wholesale mmola hona le wholesale mo gotlong mo ka pela matamong pela difofane wena monna tseba ha ka rara ka bo makipikipi ba bitsa maskopas mo gaushe ko re ke bo makipikipi le bodi go tsena tse kgolo packet tsa ntse ka ge ke re bona gore na ha ba pota motse mona re ntse re rekisa makipikipi yana ka measurement wa kopi ena ya motlantja re ne re rekisa bo 50 cents kana kwe ono fumana ga re rekile packet ene etsa bo free maluti re ne ga tla gore re etse bo profit ya 9 maluti o fumana o rekisa ona le 12 maluti sena se bolela gore ha o boela lebenkele mane o lo reka stoko se kgone gore se menahane ha ga go so buseletsa ka so na kana le kgwebo eno le mokgotsi no ka o thwinkere jwale ka ga hlokomela go ntena tsa ya phele ina ga tswa sekolong tsa le primary jwale ibe re rekisa jwale go hlokomela go ntena ya re phedisa so re ne re le batho bana ba sa hloke dintho tse ngata haholo le di rolwane ne re ithekela tsona because moshana ha tsantsa bo primary ya bo 7 bo 6 mofufutso se ntse na le go ka nkga ke so ga go fumana bothata bo nthomtho solution eno jwale gona bo ka iphisa jwang jwale ntle le yona ga be re tla ka idea ye nngwe hona le kwa yena ya Sesotho e tsulwang ke bonkgono e sebedisa ntho twing ke motabo ke ntho e jeli like jena re fumana methating ya dilomo re ne re ya mono ntho eno re lo etsoma ge e kotule ibe re tlo rekisetsa bo nkgono ba ha ba ile ba teng le jwalo ba le mokgwa ba isesang ka teng ba kopanya le ntho engwe ba etsa sniff so ne se re na le mmaraka o batla mo le mongata mo so ke nna mona re hlokomela fela ga tsana mona ke re ntho e ya phele ilampa o madima le ba go fela na go re yang high school yena o la sala tropo mona ya se iswa high school na ka ya se James high school ya so le ka mane se re sena di idea tseno tsa go kopanela ntho tseno mmoho empa le gato la go bontse le tswela pila ke ha ke fitla secondary ntwe la disa le gato la kgwebo hape ko re ha re ne re le form C re ile ga ba le project e re le ga etsa ga le ma form C ya kana kweno ne re hanga dana go khothaletsa go ba di project tse re di etsang tse ka tsa etsang tšhelete di be di sa di thagollo sekolong sa rona ya ba re ga hore re be le banka o busisa ke ne re influence ke subject ene ka dile ka trial ya rona ka 1998 ene ke na go business education ene ke ngwa syllabus so sekolo sa rona se James High School was part of the college ene dikentswe trial ene ya syllabus eno intsha ya ba ntwe na business education re bona tlhoko ya hore re na le boarding school ya banana se James High School kana go lona tse nentse le jalo ya attracta bana na ha ena ka ofela re ne re na ba ngata ba tswa masego mona ba tswa diterekeng tse di bana ba ya mogotlong ba o kena sekolo mme o na le boarding ya banana le bana ba re tšhelete tsa bana di a nyamela ka kgwading ka mana go re fela re etse hore re bule ntho ka ga banka re be se re ntse re designer bo ntho tsa bo deposit ba ke ona le ntho ya deposit slip bo withdrawal slip le henga go fela ne re etsa banka hore re tsebe hore re thute classmates tsa rona ntho tse di tla tswa jwang ba nne le karolo ya ntho ya business education ya ba re bula banka and the classmates tse tsa ile wa ntsepela hore nka ba managing director ene le nna mo kamedi para wa banka eno and banka eno ne tšhelete bana boholo wa batho na ga go le di bula yo boloka tšhelete ya rona ne re le banka go tšhelete e etsa motho go mongwe go mbulela ntho ka ga mbukana jena o tsile ka le mohla a ntshantsa go ngwala jwala go saenela ibe office ya rona sekolo mone le yona banka e golo ba banka go rona re le ABC Limited Bank ibe rona re nka tšhelete na ya custodian ya sekolo go principal jwale e la go ruta ntwe jwale ke gola ntwe le mmagatsa ke gore na batho ba ne ba bona monna ga o kana etsa wa ene ntho tse mantse le go hangata ha ga le dikolong re na lo tshaba go ipha monyetla wa gore re fumane re fa nyotso ya monyetla ga te di fa experience se ntse o prepare la go le ka moso o ka fumana na le monyetla wa go leader batho ya ba go ba primary bona ba nkeno ya bona ne sebeditsa ntle bona ba ha sa ne re etse profit go bana for transaction engwe le engwe motho hana deposit ona ntho na ga mo charge ya ona ya go fela itse deposit fee ha ntsha ga mo charge ya engwe re itse withdrawal fee so o na le tšhelete tse la ga dikopa ya fumana gore banka eno ya bona e entse tšhelete selemong se ya ba selemong se tlanga ha se re le high school o utlwisitse gore di-project di etsuwa form C le form 5 ya ba form 5 ga bana tlhoko ye nngwe re ngola proposal re le batho ba class of 2002 ya ma form 5 ka nako re kopa gore re fuwe monyetla o gana tuck shop ya sekolo e le project ya rona ya form 5 under commerce. Now se re tsa commerce re na le accounting ga batla ntho ka practice ntho eno. So ya ba re bula re fuwa tech shop eno selemong seno re na le teacher ya rona na re ruta di accounts le commerce eno to be based Korea course ne le motho wa le India. So nna le tjantjelo le banka ene ntse le yena motho ana ntse re thusa ka who was behind that asantsa re guide re bona tsena di etsa physically ya ba le monseno re register what do you call a public company sekolong mo ngwane mo le mong wa sekolo go tloa form 1 go ya form 5 re la ga ba fa monyetla hore ba reke di shares tsena re it was a public company so motho na reka share ne bile le 20 maloti. So batho ba bolela gore go investa ka ga kgwebo ena you are a shareholder ka tata re share di profits ha se le mo se fe ha o tlo ngola go yetsa na le Thapelo gore e la ga re dula fatshe le jalo kwa ha se rena di shareholder re rutwa ntho ana gona di bottom ho etsa la jwang di rights tsa di shareholder gona le bo di preferred shares le tseo le ordinary o busa ke ntse tsela ga dudusa kana go ene motho ha na reka ona reka ga mo fa mola wa gona are you taking preferred shares ka pa unka ordinary shares so go le ntho ba because mo le mo ne go rutwa fela gona how do companies operate ke la nna ka kgetwa ke le managing director ya kgwebo eno ene ntse tseno no gore ne ke dinka hanyane ke nana fela batho ba mpa ba dumela go nna e hlakile a ke go jetse go ba dumela go nna ene re ha selemo se fela motho ana ntshitse investment ya 20 maluti ona a gutla ke 25 maluti on top sena se bolela hore ha eba o no investile 20 maluti ha selemo se se fela re share di profits motho mo le mong o gutletswe ke 40 o ke 25 on top investile 20 but 20 no ha yo gutlile ina le 20 maluti le 5 maluti ka odi. So batho ba go rekile bo di shares tse ngata bo 100 maluti so kana bona ba go tšhelete ka so it was a successful project e batho ba ile ba etshepela nna le bomphato wa ka batho I was at the helm jwale ene wa go tlhokomedisa na hape ke ya hore hangata ho fitla secondary ile ntho nyamisang bana ba Basotho ba bangata na from Saturday 7 batho ba kana ba ke sephete ke ne ke hana ka ba ka fretina ka ke se pasitse fela e seng hana ke se pasitse a ke wa hopola primary tseno tsa gale hona subject tse coin le Sesotho le English le math ha ona ka fumana 2 fela la ba tsela tse ne di 1 se le second class so ya ba ho tselo tse tharo tseno ke fumana 3 ye nngwe ya ngisa third class ene tabelo la limited ntho tse ngata because ha ke ka dikolo tse ding tse ne ke di rata batswadi ba ka ba tlameha ba tsamaya ba lo batlela sekolo se James High School se ke buelello mme ha o fitla o le form 1 una la confidence nyana eno ya hore matishere ka la tla le emisa go kopa bana ba first class ba tla ema second class e be o tsa madoda o fumane re ema re swabile re bile re fokofoko ba dikolo tse la ke re ding ka ma first class ma fele pele so e watla confidence ya mwana the first 2 quarters then re dingol I lost the confidence because I was not a next motho a sele sekolo le monseno mo go tlompa ma school ne sebetsa hampi because le motho ena le first class le lona motho ena le first class because le ena mme wa le teacher a mo PTs so that year 1997 ne re sa sebetsa hantle ho hang ya ba jalo gona ba Boipuso ke gona ba nna mata di first class so ina fana ka phobia nyana eno ya hore se ka e ga ha ona confidence nyana so sa ga ka classing so yo watla confidence ya ha but ina re ka mara juno ya pele ya ba ke kala la hlaphuelwa such that ho tloha ke le form B up until ke le form 5 I was always a prefect in class ho tloha form B go ya form 5 jwale be ntse ke tfatwa ho ntshapela bota ba tsa go gana di project go betsa ntse ne re di gana le di project ke ntse tse o dinkang hanyenyana but they actually build who you are so how we post form 5 ha ka tla form 5 a ke ga kwala bo yeli ya o tla fuma ba October tla re ketile ya ba ke joina mokgatlo o bitswang Mogotlong AIDS Action Youth Club ke ne ke se ntwetse ba mo dula fela so Mogotlong AIDS Action Youth Club na ga sebetsa le bo UNICEF le NFPA le UNDP re ne re sponsor ba le di PF facilitator Mogotlong mona re pata Mogotlong eno ka o fela re le ba tshajolo re fana ka awareness ya HIV and AIDS le ntho tsa home based care mme ke la ka sebetsa ka thata ho ke la ba ka kgethelwa go emela Lesotho mokeng wa UNICEF wa batjha Zambia ne re tsamaya le nna le kgaitsedi engwe ya ka ena ona tswa Prince Mohato ne ke emetse ba tšha ka bona ka ba batona ena na ile exam le ena e leng Mphoga Mahapu yena ona a ntshuwe ke taba ya Prince Mohato. So ga mela Lesotho mono for 2 weeks ntong ya peer facilitation workshop ene so re Zambia. So ke ntse nyana tse ke reng di a etsahala re tlameha re be batjha ba busy with the experience that we accumulate through those activities. It actually builds who you are for the future. Ki ile mono nna ne ke bula dikala ya Roma August ka 2003. Chelete account ya ka ne phophoma ke PDM ya UNICEF. Ha ikala ba le phone ke ha ke reka phone ka tšhelete mempa ke rekile phone ke opela le fete free 10 Nokia fete free 10 le phone ya maemo he kana go yona vitwa ka ke rekile ka PDM. Ha ke kala gore ke be le ntho tse ngata tsa dikala ya sekolong Roma nempa fela ke ikotlola fela ke taba go fela ne ke le boy ya mogotlong kwana ha o no reka jino no reka haufiana bona ha go mo tswile ne reka le tsela tse za strate mo ba nna re sa tsebe ne re tswela thabeng wana na go lo dikwetswe ne ke kela nae ke ngwana go disitsweng ntho jwalo ne ke ya ke tseba ke disitse ke tseba so etsa masimo ke ntse ntho tseno ka go fela tsona jwale re go fa gona taba tsa ga mpha influence efeng for journey ya ka ha ke ya Roma. So ha ke fihla Roma I associated myself with everything that was in existence there. So I chose accounting and business administration in general because with the experience I gained ka ABC Limited Bank ya na ke le sebetsa le public company re le ga yetse ne gana tech shop ya sekolong ha ke le form E ela mpha element eno ya gore I think I need to venture into business studies. Go feta enga pa ene. Ngena le results tse ntle got a very good first class. Ha ke le form 5. Ne qualify almost every course in available. Ni bege batho ka ntle ona ha batho ba tseba mempower ke re so ya so goodisa so ila ka bona re tla ntsinyetsa nako because ne ke tshotse le wa admission le bo mashabeng but ke la kwa ke hloka gore ke ye Roma peer pressure ya ba go tsela na se ba ya Roma be ke le nna I need to go to Roma o business ke jo wa business trip tse lo re ne ngwa di regret ona bona o tlile ke taba pressure fela mara but hey I don't regret some of those decisions. So how do you feel like Roma? The first thing e ke le ka ba disaka na ke la ka ntho bitswang Become Association. I joined the association ama because nna ke le Boipuso I belong to the community. Ke go tlhalose ditso ke sebetsa dikgwebo tsa batho ke kene community le mokgatlo wa community wa youth mokgotlong e section youth club ne re bitsa Mike ke ne ke le motho wa community ke sebetsa mana so ke ntwe sala ke phela gore ke bona gore ke phela le batho ke ruta batho on ke kwala gap. In other words, I enjoy filling the gap wherever I am. So if I'm never if I join a Become Association, I also learned to run le mogalo to students in free enterprise na rebitsa safe. Ya ba lona sense ke ba disisa ka bona ka bona as long as it is related to what inspirations are ka di mente ke tlo la di kamanya le yona safe. Ne ke join Become Association ka join a safe. Ya ba hape kuna le mogalo no kopantse bana ba mogotong ka go fela. No bitsa di Phamola Association. Ya ba lona ke a go join. So ngele first year ke ha le first year o you are just a member tona ba so tsebe ha ntla o so etsa le o buzisa ke rena ke then a ke fitla go tloa ke le second until ke le 4 year ke la ka ba president ya mogotlong association ya di Phamola Association ya ka anyway go tloa second fela ke complete Roma for 3 years I was the president. Ntse ka rantse no di ufa background ya rona ntse re dinkang hanyane ha o ntse tla letso go boleletse megatlo ke la ka ikena all the organizations I led from secondary up to high school level. Ha fitla ka mane ya batho ba trustela ntho and kana go mo you would think ina le batho ne kena sekolo bona se James High School. No, we had batho ba tswang bo ma planning high school ba tswang bo se high school le ba ke re dikolo tsena tsa masego ba dine re ntse association ya re reng la na ba mogotlo ke kopanya ka Roma re tseba re ne re reng ke bo ya counseling re dise dikolong tsa rona tsa mogotlo batho ba tseba gore ha ba tla Roma e ska ba taba go Roma go etswa di science le di khomo fela gona le course tse di tlamang go etsu so they trusted me with leadership e mejwa. Become Association and Cyber was just a member ke le second year but when I jumped into third year. Now, ke la ka join a committee ya Become Association at NUN. Ke le Secretary General that year. And ka nnete ke le ka sebetsa le bona hantle because kana go na re hloka hore re sebeletse hore Mabikhomo ha ka ta ngola third year. Re bona hore re sebeletsa hore di company tse masego di ba tsebe re tsebe ho thola internship. So I was part of the committee in a push and twin. Kasa ifengamane student and free enterprise. Our main purpose in a law we identify the gap in the business community. Then we go to those businesses. Re ba thusa with the policy, re ba thusa the procedure, re ba thusa the template tsa hore na ba ka accountela the expenses tsa bona jwang ba tracker di sales jwang. So we designing those things. Khatsama re ya community go ba ka ikala nka mane ne re na le batho ne re kene se afulong le bona re le madina re le maditapole go ne re tsa ntwe mo le ngwe jalo bona bona what change can we deploy in the community go fetola bophelo ba batho. So now I was someone ana ka ga ntwe tsa ga ntse. So ha ke le 4 year I was the secretary general ya student and free enterprise ha ga le 3rd year re ile World Cup because it was an international organization. Re isitse batho ba rona mokgetho wa rona World Cup go compete worldwide. Ko pola ga ya pele no we Canada ya ga le mafove o no we France. Re le rena le mokgetho no isitswe mo but rona we were the main operators behind that. Then re nka boetse na tse bang se goa sentse se goa ma. Ga di go la ba tseba mo debate. Then ke bona ba tla etsa mokgetho wa rona hore taba tsane tsa rona ga haile di concept bona ba ilolwana ka tsona internationally. So I never joined team but I was the main guy le ba bang go haha all the modules, all the presentations and all that. Even these people what ban so go ba tsama ba ilwendelana because le gona ba ba go tsena la ha o bala for money uno na ga tseba dikarabo ba o tsaba lo phamisa le so ka class you know that thing so na gana batho la go fumana go ma ga na le batho ba sentse ba etsa bo education ba join students and free enterprise who are very good in debate re na le tshwantse mola ba sentse ba le very eloquent when it comes to taba tsa debate and all that. So ne ke le secretary general ya SAIF ha ke le 4 year is pito re go la ba le mathatanyana SAIF ya ba ya ntswa le Lesotho ma batho ne sentse re tswile gona tse sentse re le field. So that is my journey. Jwale ha ke le Roma I have been a business person o business again. Ha ke le secondary against the typewriting. It was one of the subjects tse mona tse re ke di option. Ono kgetha between typewriting, agriculture le home economics le basics. Basics wa tseba ke. O tuwa ke ane ya ka secondary. Ya ba nna le mo tlangane mo yo 20 go tla mathai. Batswadi ba bona na ba rata ntho tse golo tsena na ke la tsholo batho ka tsha ya wa mala ka kwa tshulo ya. We were the first boys with ba go etsa typewriting. St. James High School in 1998 Aralma Form 1 because it was reserved for ladies only. You are the one batswadi ba gona ba batla go change the narrative. Kana gale ba bedi fela ba shengana ba ruka mono ka ga bana na ba bangata ga etsa typewriting. Me inela ha James High School ka lo dimela ba hlankana hore ba ka kena typewriting. Hona tsena e buletswe motho e se buletswe motho e mo le mong post us. Jwale na inthusitse tabela typewriting ke tlo jwetsa go history ya tego la nthusa kang. I've been business oriented. Le ona tsena la haeba go na le ntse se di tlweletse ke sheba le taba ya Reconnect corporate and all that but ke batla go fit that background because I want each and every child on Lesotho a hlokomela hore you need to track that and turn it into your future plans. Gobane talent e bona la o sa le monyane. You don't even have to develop a career go belana go tla hlokomela ona talent e fe. Ya ga ka typewriting yena ha ke ka ngola form C na kwentse re metse di results batswadi ba ka e ba nthusa tsena bana kana go eno kolong tsa gona mona sa itse computer literacy ne sa itse ho ha ya ga ka ngola form C ka bekiswa sekolong sa computer ke biele ngola la computer le ke lentseng ha e metse di results za form C so ela mpha monyatla hore le ha ke fihla Roma na bono e tswa tabeno ya computer literacy nana sentse ke le acquainted ne biele na go tamba Well, I got the first year, what I want to like our share one opportunity. The first year, I was just a student. But from second year, I became a computer. You know, computer get from my like when I about to look at type of assignment, I'm going to go Phalali here, but like about to Sahato ke be se ke ba thusa go type because I was already di computer ka be sa ke bona business idea my brother go tloa second o fitlhela ke tswa 4 year ne ke na le business ya go typela batho di assignment go jwale I had a very good reputation especially from 3rd year to 4th year ya I was such a reliable person motho na tla mona fela ba go mshane no mkhotlo ga o latla mono within an hour tla ba typetse di page tse kae o patetse o tsamaile o lo print so ne ke na le business ya go typela batho di assignment ha ne ke sa bale ke sena mosebetsi o ngata sekolo ke nna kampane ke etsa gore ke sa ka ya dipapadi kapa ke sa ka etsa ebe nna mantsi ba ikata gore ke etsa ka sekolo ebe ke sebetsa lo typela batho di assignment then I was charging around 5 maluti per page ha ena le bo di graph nyana bo di table nyana o charge extra because I get a senyana ibe ke skill into it so nna ke la ka katetse ke na le kgwebo eno jwalo e la ba ga ke le fede ka hlokomela gore client tsa ka bo hola ka ta ba type jwale ba tsamaya ka di flash di diskete go so ba di flash di fitla go se tsala diskete e bula ba ilo printer kae ya ba ikisa ke bona business idea bile nna ke ga no Boipuso ga ka printer ga la ile nyana ne se ke na le ntone ya go motho ana tlile go nna ke mo typela ona bile a tswa ka mono se ke mo printetse so it was making me a lot of money but to some extent ela nthusa hape gore in as much as re ntse re wela re le batjha ka nako tse ona le pressure tse ngata people are going out drinks and all that what's that so not to some extent ela nthusa gore tabena ya o type kept me busy ke ne ke sana ba ntho tse no tse ding because ke ne ke na go spana se sengata se ke setsa sa ka sa sekolo ke le megaglo ka mona ntle le megaglo ene ke kene ke type jwale ke na le business ena na ya o type ya assignment so bophelo ba ka bo tlile jwalo up until ke le Roma so that's the experience up to Roma ha ke le first year Roma I saw a gap at home ha ke bila mane ke re jwale go se di go etso Roma ka May re metso lo tla go bula ka o ka se ka bentse ke etsang ka June July ya ba ke bua le ba khotsi ba ka re fitla go bula winter class that was the first winter class in the district wow ere within ka 2004 because ke ntse first year ka 2003 ka August in la re fitla Roma so that winter ya re gata ngwala first year academic e fela ga be re bula winter class mo go kolong se bitswang Tluletsane primary school ke go bantsela ba khotsi ba ka bene ntse go tswala bona mo goto gang kholo ne ntse le wetsa chelete gore nexa ga tore ke bele that idle mind but believe me ene ga ke tswa winter class mo no di tswa ka bo 2 ke ne ke ya mogatlo ngwana ka wa mo gotlong a section youth club ndo tse ka ntsene di keep busy ho ke ne ke sena na go engate mona ya bo majwala ya bo to some extent ila khona o kwala gap ya hore hona ntse dintse batho ile ba di real di aging you but now was just too busy mmele ba shabana tsena nka ba ile tsa ntweno ya hore you need to have something you need to develop the hobby tsaka etsa mo go survive so I ran that winter class from first year till ke 4th year ke tlile mo nna ke thola di results tsa ka se ke tlameha gore ke ga Boipuso a results di tsile jela go ema se go lo pholatsa na o etsa jwa that's when I came to Masego ke sia winter class nna o matsonga a batho ba ba ndo ke ratile go ga na go eno go na le batho ba ile ba bona opportunity antweni ya ba go so ba le winter class mo gotlo so re ke le ka fela ke we need to think out of the box gore na o ka etsa chelete jwa o ka ikipa busy jwa to avoid pressure tse ka ntle not that's how I survived go fitla university life ya ka e fela so post varsity immediately kana go ne la ka thewa I spent around 2 weeks ntse ke sokola masuku ke dula with one of my uncles ya ba ka ba ka la gore le ga le ditho tsa safe we are well known body ministry mo because na le di committee members re na le project ze re kopa sponsorship tse ding re bitsa re collaborate le government ministries to implement some of the projects so ya ba ha ba tsa go pola go higa batho ba batlang kana go una tlameha go go collect data ya di council tsa tiwai tsa beria ka ofela ke 10 councils ya ba nna le the other 4 guys ga bitswa mo local government mo boso ma ka fitla ga sa ene tswa di contract tsa boithaupi ne se na le duration no itse fela until re getile go collect data so my first job e la bata yone ya ho ga le batlana jwalo e mo le mola fuwa council tse pedi. So nna ke le Boipuso ke ne ke sebetsa le ma councilor a Kanana council office ya teng ne le makaka ebe ke fuwa kweneng hape kweneng e belabe. So ne ke sebetsa le council tseno tse pedi ha bana ba bona ba fuetse di bo thuate bo manana ke sebetsa le tseno tse pedi, and I managed to work hand in hand le ma councilor. Khana re fuwa stipend sa around 1,500 ka kgwedi back then. That was in 2007. Ntwene responsible ka no fuwa lunch allowance ya 20 maluti go tloa mo dulang teng ho ya counseling o no fuwa tšhelete ya transport na re fuwa PDK re tla re account o tseba go tla fihla mono then ka morago ga tšhelete fela wa ya o lo account. So kana go tseno ke na go ne ke ithute bohlala ba okay field mona tle ka bana o thata o no sebeletsa hore ne ke sebetsa hore haeba ke sebe ke thewela bo belabela molemo wa go ke se ife tšhelete ne ke palamela le sa mogotlo of past 6 se ke le piso ground in siema putsa then ke palama to maputsa ke belabela because no so sebeletsa o ntwa hore o bona hore le ha o ya mono ya ka bo cheap tšhelete na 20 maluti ya allowance ono sa thwere ya account no jwa fela go letsatsi ka letsatsi ya 20 maluti then ono tla etsa go jela le maku ya mabedi a thoga ndabo mane ga bo 50 cent ne re go gaela ka nako eno. Then this 18 maluti ntso ye safe hore e tla kgona go bona dinete tse di because o hloka ga ya mono o ska nkga mfufutsa ke o nobele go lo. So na re le ka go improvise to that extent hore re kgona go survive. So I worked with local government for 2 months ntse re sebetsana le tsona di council tseno ya ba ka le la mate ya Phala ke bona post public gain ke be ke sana no ga nka hiwa ya Mafube investment holding na batla accountant ka ya applyela ka interview ngatsa ka pass interview ya ba ke ska ka la ke na fielding ya accountancy ne ka ba accountant Mafube investment holding mono for almost 2 years. Mafube investment holding ne manager tutangana transport tutangana mining and civil works ne sebetsa ka mane ka mothai ebe ba key dimensions Lesotho ne sebetsa ka diesel re ne re supply bo mothai ka diesel re na le teraka tse kgolo re na le mokoro financial services ono hiriswa tšhelete le mokoro financial service consulting ina gana call center ya Vodacom ina 114. So ke sebeditse mo ne ke ithuta mosebetsi wa accountancy ke sebetsa company tsana le 100 tanyana ya ba nne ke hlokomela hore in as much as ke le ka hara field e sharp se ke ka accounting ka mogolo fela gona le batho bana ba mentor ka nako ba ga tsa bana mona ka go ka bokadile audit firm. Why audit firm ba audit firm o ntse le monyane e tla ofa experience ba tlang le diverse go ska fumana sebetsa la accounting motlele o le mo. So I left as a senior accountant desk nase ke promote ke le senior accountant ya ba ke ya audit firm. So it was not an easy decision, but I don't regret that decision because I left here ke khola tšhelete ke khola and I settled for half ya tšhelete ke fumana gore ke ya mane mo ke yang experiencing ena tla nthusa gore ke maneuver accounting ka pelenya ka ya audit firm from an accounting position to an audit firm. Audit firm ke mo ka go etsa article tsa ha go ntho mana gore o junior ga e tlo rutwa mosebetsi. So I went there so it's shirane for more than a year, but ka ba ka se na le experience ya ba tla post e nngwe World Vision ke ya applyela then I became a senior accountant ya World Vision. That was it ka jeni ya ka accounting. Then from there Shoprite Hanzekele auditor was one of my clients ka gore ne ke ya mono fela go etsa mosebetsi o ne go assign. So that's how we got to know each other. Ba tlhokomela mosebetsi wa ka professionalism ya ka and everything when how aware. Yeah, but there's this time a regional manager rating ala auditor or they need to recruit someone out of la position ya ona tla me go move la ka di operations fela o tla batla motho wa regional admin manager e be somebody that le audit and accounting background gore fela ba tsebe gore ba balance Shoprite be motho tla gona o sebetsa le dibanka se gona sebetsa le bo LRA everything else a utlwisang the concept and those nitty-gritties. Ya ba ka nnete ke at so interview le batho ne ke tlile le bona and I became the best candidate. Ya ba ke joina Shoprite that was in 2012 as a regional admin manager. so it's about regional manager administration ya Shoprite ka ofela tse di le teng di save ne di le matsong ngaka ke thusana le yena regional manager. So ke sebetsa mono Shoprite. I've been there for 11 years.
Wow.
And around 3 months. Get a part of the regional team. Get really a operations the regional ops manager. Yeah, mono. Then I left Shoprite in 2023. May 2023, I started in a new company, ExpressCredit Limited. So ExpressCredit Limited, it's a financial service, it's a microfinance. Yes, so so I started as a chief operations officer. CEO. So Gwana Manzeki Patilete Motluaka May 2023 up to now. But beyond Tabena ya career, Yamoki Hirui, I'm a financial coach. Why did I go to financial coaching? Because Kahala Sabufi the account Agautwa, Braimaro Yakai, Kimotoa community. I always enjoy bridging the gaps I see in the society. For the past years, in terms of customer Shoprite, I learned on consumer behavior in practice. May I picked up on the weaknesses are consumer so so ke la go komela ntwe na ke ga a tseba se ke tseba ho ka customer. I've been an accountant, I've been a retailer, now se ke le ka fielding ya ntho tsa financial services where people borrow money and kana go ngwe go na le responsible borrowing e mo e kana bana le irresponsible because there is that one you'll pick them up ha motho a sa gutla sa sena mogwa o survive uno se le likile tsotlho re le shebe ntho e mo le mo ono to discover go motho na ona patile ntho tse ding because ha se ntho tse reportwang bo credit bureau ha re gone o di bona ha so dile la fa tsumana motho na nang o kolota le mekhukhu mona batho na ba senang license le central bank yo sa ka ma dula fa so okay how do we correct into go thuselwa. That's why I picked over there is a huge gap ka hara Basotho and we need to help them gobane ba ha country ina ha ntho ha country na le citizen se sa tsemo se bisa chelete. Such a country leona tlo hlola re be le chelete because all of them ba invest in infrastructure, then they're going to invest in social grants. And then I know how you do because I have actually did la meo ya dithuso go feta go nyola infrastructure. It says lot na ga batla go ba it's a dikgwebo. We found an infrastructure dikgwebo di tlo ba teng. O ke ba gona go bula mabenkela maholo Thabatseka ke tse mohlala fela if uno sena tsela e kgolo ya mona ke re na le dibaka tse ngata tse go fumana go tsena le population but the business tse kgolo di flower di ka because ba ipotsa fela gona thepa hore e tloe mo me te fitla mo e tlo fitla ba. So infrastructure is very important ka rana ha e mo le mo. So le nna ga be ke re ke le Boipuso, I've been a community activist when it comes to ntotsa awareness, information dissemination ya ntotsa bo HIV AIDS go na ga hlokomela bakudi malapeng jwang and home based care ntotsa ka gantseng ka ga ba ke la ga etsa ntotse no at my young age. Why can't I invest my time on financial literacy? Use my Facebook profile go ruta batho ka ntotsa tsa ditšhelete gore ba be responsible ka taba tsa ditšhelete. I know some people were even querying me when I'm you are in a financial space. Don't you think it was no. We have a responsibility to lady microfinance financial services. We make a responsible lending. Profits, but we need to make what decisions in a party. It's so nice if man out look at my charity because when I business venture but investor here. You get me? How to look at my charity away Cape Town. Because we do ask them, we do record the reasons. And ke a sekolong ke etsa ntho tsena tsa go hloka but o tlo fumana re mong ha o so o tibisisa o no ka mosalama o tlo fumana bona e batlela ya Durban o kana ke so ntse sa re sebetsana le yona e ntse go sebetsana le yona going forward ke taba ya go hlabolla batho ka taba se iswa itšhelete even beyond mosebetsi ona ke long hona. That is what ke shebile gona future ka ya ka e hlile ke hloka go tswela pele mohlomong se ke tlo la ke ba a financial consultant ke thusa batho go feta gore ebe go batho ntse ba etsa diphoso ara tsena ga bona mesebetsi ya fela di mine di ya kwala ne dade America ya etsa decision ya withdraw dithuso ya ba di NGO tse ngata di ya kwala and batho no sebetsa mono ke responsibility ya rona ga le batho ba nang le the technical know-how tsa rona tšhelete o ka e gala ka mekgwa e go ga ba thusa because some of them have money packages tse kgolo tse kana but ha tsebe na ka etsang ka yona. So I can say Boipuso Adontsi as a person, I'm a financial coach. That is what I'm doing. I have families tse sentse ke di supporta tse lo re dula fatshe na tšhe re tla nna re sebetse jwang. Definitely ha se tla leveleng eno wa utlwa ke re shaisa le mahala ke tlameha hore ke ipena go develop le templates ke analyze expenses tsa how go build those data spending patterns out and all that. Re tsebe o tla ka solution hore ha ke re lokise mona le mona and I'm proud to say there are some families that I managed to rescue through my financial advisors. I do develop the policy for the small businesses. Let's say the mahared now. Because with my experience ke se ke khona go nka develop ntho tseno ha ntse ke le Shoprite ke la ka teletse ke engotse into an MBA molomong wa hore with the experience ke nang le yona ba ke bona gore ke go learn new strategies tse ka nthusang hore ke hodisa brand ba Shoprite in the country ba une molemo ke se ka ba ba fela ntse ke hola career wise but ntse ke me degree so ke la ka etsa MBA ka 2017 to 2018 ke la gona go ke fumana le ngolo le la MBA yona e la ga le nthusa holo hore ha ke tla ntho tsa di policy le di strategy e la nthusa haholo mme the same experience eno ke bile le yona e ke la ka e fuwa le ke taba tsa MBA e nthusa hore ha ke advise batho strategically hore na ga ba thusa jwang how do you get out of this donga ya debt o bua le motho a batlang a ile sekolong ha ke se botho se batho fela nje just because o to ya rata o bua ka di finance tla ke ra sa I'm an accountant. Accountants are there hore ba keep di record tsa di company re tseba bona company sebetsa ntle le sa sebetsa ntle so with that skill se ke nang le sona it still contributed a lot in my operational experience as a manager and all that because it was a good foundation. So hona tsena ke thusa di kgwebo tle ke develop di policy le ka lapeng go etsa template ya go gotanya expenses well formularized e sentse you build the metrics tse bontshang gore na spending patterns sa go se kae ha re tla re ha ene tse thusa di bona hantle we just keep records tsa total 3 months it will tell us gona hantle ntle wetsa diphoso kae and I do a tailor-made template for motho e mong le mo se ke thusitse bana I'm still guiding batho ba ba tswang kakao ka we kata ho lokolla basebetsi end of June ba ba matlile go nna 2 months prior because sentse ba tswa gona go tloetsa la sentse ga gala taba tsa bona okay ha package ha o fihla e tla ya mona re etse tjena sentse ke ba ya advice tse jwalo so ba ba mantse ba tla go nna ona tjena go ba kope thuso tseno tse jwalo. That is what I'm doing. Can weekend it's a busy so that is what I'm doing. After hours I do see clients in the evening so that is what I'm doing at the moment, my brother. I said I become part of it. What's the team ya bolo goma ona ndo to give me league ka mo so na ba le mabikoma ke a gontsana guys ga ga etsa ngene re na le batho ba ga la team tse di tumme ka mo ntse thumbo ba kha bo Madrid ne tse di tsoga mo le tse di ntse ngata so ntse re tsa we need to formulate our own team here ke la tsa fela ga re tlo re ya le bitso le ba ga fa re be fela re become Roma ya ba become Roma ena re fetola re fitla re aggregate bi community re ke bi Roma so la rena le team yo team bi Roma check hanga to fitanyane kanete di ne di hlola ha ke so re ne hlola ne ka he di ne di hlola hobane ne kana la batho bana ba le talent e kholo ba palla team tsela tse kholo no it was there go fela gona ba sa ga imbolo mehlena re le gona ne re gotlo ne re ga bolo ka di all star hobane ne re se ba thola prepared ka lo ka ne ela re kopanya mabikhomo re contributetse motho ba ntse 20 maluti ka bona go bona gore ba le dintho yana kana le dikipa tsa bona tse apagwang ke class ka ofela ene le twentle ne re etse ya go that time and that be Roma la re bile feel tmona re bile le yona la bene se re sa ga bolo but re la ga ba le community se re bitsa be Roma there are still those former classmates ntse re le ka ga group yo ne bitswang be Roma le tsatsing le se go kopana re tsana ka ntho tse ding we share the business ideas we meet socially or go bone mo le mo hantle so se le ntho re na le yona so ntho ga ba etsa yona fela ke ya go fela bophelo mona ga hloka we are not living in an island the advice I want to make to batho ba ntse ba hola ke ya hore we need to belong you need to socially belong le ka ha la pale no fela make sure you become a member the activity ntse etsala in the community you live in ha ba o dula sebakeng se itseng montlo wa patsing ka sonta ha ona le mofu you need to do what the community is doing nanda te ke wala ditop on Sundays man o dula ntse ha ile bereya ha ona le lefu re patsing on a Sunday morning around 6 in the morning ke wala topo tsaka ke apara freezer ka ha ile Maria Jena freezer ya kete tla bula ke apara coating yana e se ba nka gona o sebetsa ka yona le sa khayaka ke na le sa ke apatsi because that's what people there do ha ba o tshwa lefu o tshwa le bitla I need to partake in that it's just that ka baka la mosebetsi ke go tshwa bo mabitla bo la bo ga kana go ha go bobebe but please the community the guys that are growing up do what the community is doing partake in those things because those people are your future clients as well so how about when into ha ke tsama tla go motho go thwe mo profita ha bo go ha kana go mo ha bo because why can't ha bo into tsa community how do you expect someone to come and support your business but that's how going into the community we are social beings we are not living in an island so do what your community is doing some people ba ba bana ga rata ntho tsa meghatlo and all that but ba ba bona ntho tsa meghatlo ya rona ne re le busy go ruta batho ka taba tsa protected sex at that age the dangers of HIV AIDS taba ya rona ba gudi ba hlokomelo jwa mmetseng ela ba thusa hore nako ya ne le ngata ya hore be re ntse re ya ka mangwe peng go tsuwa matekwane re ntse re ya kae re fusentse re ba le influence ya fumana relate after the alcohols and all that matekwane and all that wa ba ba gona re le ga ba le iswa ke di influence then because we kept ourselves busy we need to partake in what the community is doing we need to be part of the solution makers out there what's one guy and no fella it says in nalo ya ga etsa ntho tsa public administration ka ba tsai definitely wo mosebetsi wa bo NGO bo NDP bo UNICEF bo kae UN ke shonga bela nna ka hiwa ha bobebe because historically ke ne ke tla di rostereng tsa bona there were times when ba le di campaigns tsa NDP tsa UNFPA tsa UNICEF ke ne ke partika ntho tsa ka rantsi it's just that I loved accounting ya ba ke ntho tsa di accounts so ke le ka fela gore ke re batho ba ngata ba sha ha re ke re be busy ka ntho tse lo re thusa ke sebeditse retail for 11.5 years I never had time to be on social media doing those posts ba batho ba downgrade ba etseng ka weekend ke ya di free mealing all I'm advocating for fella you need to pick up anything that can influence your finances positively instead of going out into that affect the finances how negatively that is all what I'm pushing at the moment you'll go to my Facebook posts tsatsingela nang batho ba tsaba ka lo ga ile on Saturdays ba mpitsa Mr. Free Meal why because when I go for a ceremony ke tswa funeral e ngwana je funeral mo wa ne is there any tao ke tsa funeral mo go ja ke fihla hae ke jile ne la pe mana ba jwa papa ka mo ka mahe it says in another thing no ke tshwasitse red meat somewhere. That is why we are campaigning for this thing ya free meal, and we need to embrace that because that's how you enjoy your life. You get a full course meal without paying a single cent. That is all what I'm trying to advocate. Hobane batho ba bang ehlile o tlo fumana hore ba fumane a proper meal ha re le ka neng ka mahele ke haebe ba ya di event tsene ke ntwana re renyitse community participation go na le batho ba le ba hlokomela ba sokola because how na le di ceremony tse ka rantse they are there from nako tshekwana nako etswang ba o thusa without paying anything, but in return they do get something for free. Motho a jalo it says sanzo kopana le bona mono le ha o hla any opportunities wa ba hopola. So in short ne ke le ka fela re ke we need to belong. You cannot survive only isolated. Ga hlokana in anything. So career na ka ke lekileng go ke fana ka yona jalo ke le ka go bontsha fela hore my stepping stone e bile taba ya ntho tse nyenyana tse ke le ka di recognize later on hore actually ke di stepping stones tsaka tse mpile mo ba nketeng tsatsing la kajeno. In the near future in my consultancy work, I need to deploy the same strategies, the same energy hore ke tle ke hodise kgwebo yaka. It's very hira batho baba. It's very lena in thusa hore ke invest in community projects because ke bone molemo o di yentseng. So lena that is my goal. I'm a family man. Ke na le ba ba babedi and my goal is ke hloka ba lena go ngata le bona. Ntlo ba lena go ngata le bona. I also need to teach them principles tse ka etsang hore ba belong in a society. Parce que ba fala de du khona go rekela dijo khona go patala dikolo a etsa bang ebe they forget hore ntate wa bona cannot be the only community member. They need to know hore how etsa la eng. We go to church on Sundays. They partake from class year Sunday school. I want to see them go from Sunday school to youth team until ba fitlela this other class that's tse kholo ka kereke. Then they will make their own decisions in the near future. But now I would have played my part. Because I said we are social beings. You cannot be on your own. You cannot lock yourself in the room. Push the TV or le mongapa or le YouTube. Because when I did Wi-Fi, it's unlimited. We let bana ba ikolla ka di room. Baga they know very well. Every evening, high like 7 o'clock, we meet together. We pray together. Kabbalah prayer items. Then in that way, you are able to pick up hona bana ba are they still in good mind e mong do tseba ha o tloa Thapelo hore ha feel hantle wa kula. So that is how I wired my life now. Ke na le community ke kopaletseng le friends tsa ka. We have a club e bitswa it's a millionaires club ba ka la o yetsa bana ba re tseya go register a nyo yeno legal office ma. Because never see the millionaires, never see the little levels, but we had a dream. Yeah. With that stock fell, I give you all the energy. So I can't much let the stock fell and see, and up to 250,000 now. He got back there and higher is obvious. So Harry and it's a stock fell. Interest that they are very low. They are commodity, if you remember that. Because never should be found okay, guys. Baba habana mesebetsi. But the number of services and kate. How we are the banking, how qualify. Because you are or once a whole, how na PSL. But that is the community na yaron. Now we know about welfare, how an subscription into one credit. Kabana on patala handle. Mohadugana also holds it, also ka ima chelete ka na renale constitutional register when legal office ma. Khasebesa ka ya. Khasarati jwa ke mohadlo no bona lo feta di bank. Because we created a community e ka re thusa mo re fela go lutsa bona. A lot of those people have managed to grow their businesses. Re kgone ha matlo lo a lokisa ba bang for the same funding eno e re raneng ka mo. So essentially we are not an island. We don't live in an island. Make sure you join hands with your community to make your life better. Mme le wena sentse go kgothaletsa ntho because stokvel tselo sentse di le teng sentse di guide some of the stokvels for di kete tse di ho tsufitla level e no out. O bona ke ntho e kae ga e ka dile ka mora COVID because COVID ine batla go bontsha Matlo a se bugu ya guys re na le group ena mo re kopantseng gore ga hae malapa rona re bua rona re intlafatsa banka ga malapa and all that, but COVID ba tlile feta ka go se re fela ha o sa legacy re batlang go e create for bana ba rona wa tsela go la ka ta o lift to di restrictions tsa COVID ya we met ya o plana re ile re tswile re la out bound go na re tsere tsa team building re le di couple tseno. That's when we came up with this tree ya Millionaires Club. Hona tsena e hotse ke re sa ka dimana tšhelete e ka na le bank account re na le ntho tsena ka go fela tsona ka di matšhelete wa account wa e tswang re transfer into your account o sontso o file statement sa gona o patala jwang on monthly basis and life goes on. So that is in a nutshell who Boipuso Adontsi is and what he is doing now. So like I mentioned, batho ba batla go haha di policy tsa di kgwebo tsa bona, they should call me. The procedure and everything else. O bona o sa bona go ba ha o ntsetsa profit yuang, I will come and develop templates for you. O tsebe go be 100% so especially batho ba na ba ile gore di kgwebo tsa bana ke tsona tse phedisang le lelapa. Nne go bona ya go ba e sebetse because o dula ntse o gabella hanong o nka tšhelete ya kgwebo phisa lelapa. I develop such templates tse o thusang go tracker those expenses o tsena na kgwebo ye ntse bokae o jile bokae. Ba bang ga le kgwebo tse ngata tse fumana ha tsebe ya ne ja ye nngwe ke thusana ka ntho tse ka rantseng. So that is what I'm doing as a side hustle, and fortunately go tloa kgweding e tlang ya August I'm going to dedicate nako ya ka full time in that job. Gore ke bona gore ke thusa batho financially, ke thusa dikgwebo gore di transform. That is my main goal. Ke go ba mpotsa dipotso le hey ke mo polotse ke mo ruti ngwane se se ka mtshwara wa sentse ke bua tjena ka ka ke toloki ke mo ruti.
Batho ba go fumana ho kae ha ba batla ho bua ha hola yana ka ditaba tso buileng ka tsona ba ka fumana ho kae.
Boipuso Adontsi o fumana ho 59 166 580 59 166 580. That is my personal number if they na le WhatsApp. So preferably ka baka la go kana go ke be di appointmenting ba ntropela WhatsApp ke tla boela go bona. Go tloa mona number ka mfumana Facebook profile e ngotsweng Boipuso Adontsi jwalo fela. Profile eno a ile jwalo ba ka ntropela messenger e mono ke a di share mo ga o tsena full time e le go se ka fumana ke misitse go kwala kepe ya manga pama. So kana de ke teng ke ngwana mosotho ke teng ka gana ga mona kopa batho ba nsebedise ke sa fumane ka o sholo ke re ke le buile ka nnete ka opportunity no mpile yo.
In terms of choosing the career for bana kapa batjha advice o ka fanang ka yona ke feng because unemployment rate e hodimo, so motho ha tshwanetse a kgethe career ha se batho ba bangata ba sentse ba le employed ba itseng program eno wa tla sa tsebena a ka itse jwang. Hape hona le ntho ba batswadi ba batla go kgethela bana ba bona ba itse haeba motswadi ana rata bongaka o tlo batla ngwana haebe ngaka o advice ya ho ke feng tabeng tseo.
Advice ya ka ya pele ke ena nna ke tsotse ke matishere da tloga ka le tishere mme wa ka le tishere e bile le principal kana botse bona ba se that day they wanted me hore ke yang go le botishere ele tse ke tseba go tabe nonong ya go ne ska ke follow and train ya bona ela ka ya hle ne ba kwatisitse kalo because now I ended up following my path. How did I know my path? I knew my path because now from the young age esale ke le busy ka di activity tsa go tloa ke le primary. That's where I learned to nka reka packet e kana ya makipikipi ya ba ke ya go la ka le bekere la mota ntja e be ke le rekisa mono ke za profit. Then I picked up tšhelete o etsa ha bobebe jeng. At that time ka tlhokomela hore bo nkgono bana ba ile ba batla bona bana ba ka letla le makipi fela le go batla le mota. Because I was part of the community ka tla ka rekisa ke tsebile hore ba hloka ntho o thwe mota. Ya ba we added it as one of the lines lo rekisa ne ga me matha methating ya dilomo re kotula mota. Ke ile high school like I said I participated kgwebong ya ABC Limited in a bank. Le company le ga e bula. Ndo tsona ka tsona they inspired me hore ke tlo la ke za ntho tsa business. So batswadi before you direct ngwana ha o mo fosa ga itse ntho itse, make sure your child becomes a part of the community. Because that's how they pick up their talent. That's how they pick up their passion. Etla etsa hore kana go ngwana ha bona tsheseo ya motho a imotsa hona le role model tso di developer go go pana le batho, and you could see hore this is I want to follow this path. Because how to mo kwaletse ka tu mo batla ile ba doctor because wena o doctor o isa motho na ntho e se passion ya hae. Jwale mo ga o tsena ntho se re khothaletsa hape ke ya hore re na le batho ba ileng di counselor a tsa se phoso ngwana ha o nomise di therapy just for the counselor. Bana mo go batsa bona ba ka etsa mine information ka kelelo ya ngwana e gona passion ha ena shebile ka lo ga hape le gona ga tlameha go dule re ntse re ithuta AI te kana go ga botsa fela what are the business opportunities ka career opportunities in Africa, in Southern Africa, in Lesotho. AI tsela se pick up dintho ka teng e tlo fa field ya ne yo fela then ngwana ha o sontso le ka fela gore o mo batla di career counseling. They will come up with options tsa go ba bontse ngwana no ha ona le perfunyana ka ga o se ka metse kae go feta go kae. Ena go khatela bana di career does not work. I know people ba ntseng di course na re di bonolo ha ntse re le varsity. Ke dwetsa mohlala ha bona le course na re di halala he kana go eno go se tsebe ha motho ana go etsa bo social work ne ka go etsa go bona kere, and those people they are running organizations as we speak. Some of them are working internationally, ba leader international organizations. Kana go ana ona ne go busa fela go ha o etsa di science jona ne metse kana e thata o etsa economics o etsa ba accounting e ka go score go bona kere nga kere, but hona le motho a etseng public administration ka pa etseng social work. I know some of them who are HR managers are one of the biggest corporates in the country. By the PAPS ha e hlokele mmetsa ha e hlokele ke ta ba those guys they follow their passion. Ba bang ba isitswe mo ne ke di results tsa bona hlogo ba ka bo di science because they had no mathematics, but it channeled them to their passion. So how na course e o tshwenyegile o feta engwe. It's not about the complexity. Ya ona course engwe na ithata ka ke di science ke mmetse ke ebe o batla go ngwana o etsa course ntshe thata, but ngwana follow a passion ya. That is the career guidance I can give as we speak. Because la ne re ya kwana ono fumana hore ne re fa batho na ba etsang go aga di career guidance santse le bona ne re tsa a mistake wa hore batho ba etsang course ngana tsena tse thata ke bona re ba fanna go engata ya go hlalosa go mana BSc mona o etsa la jena economics in jena with the common university lo twa go mo le ba statistics o kana ke ne re fa ntho ne ka reng these other courses, because lo ya ke la ka follow passion ya tsela ka ba teacher surely nga bibile teacher ntla ha ho, because winter class ya ka e gata ibula mogotlo di re sa tsang go ne di phaha. So it shows hore in my DNA ke lampa ba ka hana fela o etsa jwalo. I've seen like le ka o ruta batho dintho, like when I train people at work kapa ke ruta batho ba go shop tsena tsa financial literacy bo ba bona batho ba ona le, but they have something to take home. It shows hore ke na let that thing ya hore tse go diso ma dishere, so that DNA is still there. But if it was guided positively kana go nna se ke ba fela ke a tlosa positive ke batswadi ba ka. Why? Because bona batswadi ba hao na bona ba fela go pa tšhelete ba ga hae o sontso re tla me patala hanyane o bona kere o bona ba ba ga nne ntho ke ntho e tsalang le jalo, but ha ka ya deeper ga to yana ba tlo go nna ba ga monna bona le opportunity e jena ke na motho re dana na go ma ka 2003 higher education. She's a doctor now.
Wow.
Higher education, she's a doctor. Ibile ha mong bana le doctorate ibile ba ngola o bona kere era go no bona na re nka fela go bona na se ke etsang. So e tle re hloka a serious career counseling, career guidance. E hloka mo ngwana how is something that we need to invest for our kids. Re se ga ba pusha fela, but let's try to go step by step re batle batho ba ka ba fund tsena kaofela wa tsona research material ba batlela ona ba bale hore na opportunities tsa ho entse ntona ke dife because there are a lot of people that entse in science because they got good grades high school they ended up ba tlama wa root because ha ona mesebetsi batho ba BSc industry ya Lesotho wa kuzisa ke ba teng but ha ona ba ka ba hirwang teng bolona e ba ka tetse ba matitjhere a botang biology le chemistry le physics di high school. So that's what I can say regarding the career guidance.
About time management, ho bonahala o kgona ho manager nako ya hao hantle.
Yes.
And how shall situation tsa batho ba bangata, one of the excuses tse ba dutseng ba tla ka tsona ke hore ha bana nako. Like ha ona hobaneng o sa etse ntho e itseng o sa participate mona o sa iketse mangolo o sa etse o tshwantse ha ke na nako. What can you say to those people in advice for one hore na
because it's a mohlala ha ke tla etsa MBA I delayed for the longest time because given na ntwe ha ke investor ho yona na ke tlo pass because retail my brother it doesn't matter the position you are holding how so as a retailer it's a shop right in that ho busy le kana bona ba sa tla of mona hore ke di shopong go sheba bana ntse di ya lwang ha ona challenges and all that pele na ke bona e ka thweno ha ke tlo fail ntwe but I had to manage nako yaka ka despite this busy schedule MBA ke tloetse I had to cut taba tsa bo ntho tsa social ke ne ke se le ka weekend itse da ke mosebetsing kapa ke high kapa go office mo no after hours hore ke pushe taba tsa mosebetsi I had to cut TV na se ke sa shebe ngwana ga dambolo ha go there was a time when I shebelle ball I'm a church person nenze ke ya kerekeng because we only go there for 2 hours immediately after hours I want to dedicate my time to ntho tsena na nako e teng it's just that when I ntho tse mona tse re ntse ka e ka re ke scam hore re phile ka tsona we don't se re fetotse di number ta se di no ha e ntse khona shebella TV mantsibuya you know soap A up to soap Z ibe yo ha ona nako ya hore o dedicate nako ntho tsa sekolo kapa dedicate nako ntho tsa community ntso ithetsa o denialing with my busy schedule I was still able to attend the funerals tseke sa khone ha ke khone because I know what's what I was out meet and all that you can't be going to the social kapa tsa sekolo o kusana ke rena ke so na go iteng it's all about that one thing wa bana na bongwe ke rata e ke manager handle ke na kwa lape nicely I'm a present dad wa kusana ke in as much as you have a busy schedule be a present dad for your kids be a present neighbor to your neighbors how to ba le funeral mo tseng wa ho be ha o funeral go nna ke re ke bohlaso next one
thank you so much for being on the Reconnect Podcast TV Show. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Actually, I didn't tell about that. There's nothing, but about so to have I let's say about pay.